Hi friends, how are you? I hope you're having a beautiful day. This video is how to see the future, learning how to see the future. And so this one here is definitely one that is, I think, a little bit more advanced to learning how to move an object, to learning how to move fire, learning how to move water, because it requires, I think, a more in-tune state of concentration. But there's people that don't even talk about those other things, but I think they're so simple and easy to see that it just gives you a lot more belief and more self-confidence when you're doing this, to know that that's possible. Because if you're doubting yourself in the process, you're kind of killing the possibility for that to come about. So you're not allowing that right type of confident energy to present itself, to have that possibility take place. But one of the interesting things about this is that if you research Russell Tarks, who actually worked for the Stargate remote viewing program for the government for a couple of decades, and then he had to sign a paper saying he wasn't going to be talking about to anybody or documenting to anybody publicly what he learned until so much time. Well, that time passed, I think, in the late 90s, I believe. And so he started writing books on this, but what he wrote about is basically how you can also forecast the future, and the same thing with Ingo Swann, and he called it the Nostradamus factor. And so some of the exercises to be able to do this, I think will combine possibly remote viewing, which goes right back to Ingo Swann and Russell Tarks. And if you don't know what that is, look it up on another one of my videos as far as what remote viewing entails. And so this particular phenomenon really has to do with learning the fundamentals of remote viewing, and at the same time kind of like what it means and how it works to be able to see the future. Now, one thing you can do that's very simplistic, I believe, to be able to see the future is just write things down of what you anticipate. So for example, if you say, oh, my dad's going to be wearing such and such clothing, my cousin is going to be doing this on X time, or the price of actually that's a more difficult one. That would be associative remote viewing, to be able to predict the stock market. I've had several books that I read on that, which is a lot more difficult because your mind cannot really foresee prices. It's a lot more difficult, so it can only see patterns and colors. So that's kind of how the subconscious mind works, supposedly. Dates and times are not really as easy to come through. So that's my understanding. But as far as being able to see, a particular event in the future, you might, say, okay, this person is going to possibly reach out on X time. So what you need to do to get into that cognitive, present, focused state, meditative state, I would recommend to meditate for 10 to 15 minutes, so that way you can get really centered, and then write down what you believe is going to come about for the coming future. So a really simple example, I think, is what people are going to wear. Don't get so stuck on trying to be able to focus something that is going to be a role on the change that you, in the course that you decide to take, because you believe this one thing is going to happen, so now you're going to take a completely different course. I would play it more like as a game. Don't put so much stress on it, because if you put so much stress on it, then it's probably not going to come through. So you really want to see it more so as a game, like, oh, well, this person's going to be wearing these colors of clothing, this particular style on X date and X time. Or if you're meeting somebody, you can try to future see, which is really kind of remote viewing, what they're wearing when you see them. And I think that's a really fun exercise. And so this particular phenomenon is really interesting because Ingo Swann was able to future see particular songs that were going to play in particular times, and he actually documented this in his books, and he talked about it. So I would highly recommend to look him up, as he is referred to the father of remote viewing. And so I hope that this video helped you a little bit on being able to future see. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great future day.